Jackie.
All right. Let's see. Thanks, everyone. I was really excited to hear about the LARP effect because, as you know, I'm an educator and I have been using LARPing in education for a long time. I believe exactly all those things that you said. It's true. You're more engaged. You're in the present. It's true, authentic learning that rises to the top. So, my belief and our belief at GameCraft, which is play for fun, not only does using your mind and problem solve create longevity, but it helps you make connections. And what I've noticed sometimes with LARPing is sometimes people have a little bit of the resistance. So I like using smaller games like Get Nine to help build confidence so that they feel, you know what, I can effectively step into this new game and LARP and learn new. So I use it on a variety of different levels but basically let's play for fun. Like I said, it is a simple game. There are several cards. You have two dice, and we're going to kind of play it progressively. We'll start with plus and minus first, so that you will make a calculation that ends in nine using a combination of cards and dice. There's a question mark, which means you can create your own that shows up. And there's a blank one, and that means you would not use it. But let's start with the simple one. We'll do a couple of those. Then we'll move on to some multiplication and division. And I've got my second laptop on here so I can see in the chat, which is why sometimes I'm looking off to the side, how everything, so I can see your answers. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, so let's see. Let's get started. The first throw here, we threw a plus and a minus. Like I said, we're going to try and do the easy ones. And so now your goal is to use the card and dice combinations to come up to the number nine. And I'm going to put my timer on for a minute and give you a minute to do that, and then type those into the chat panel as you make those calculations. And again, as you're problem solving, you are getting younger as you do it. And I'll start looking into the chat panel and then I'll reveal some of the answers. The great thing about this game is that there are always multiple options. There is no one way of doing it. I mean, sometimes there is only one option, but a lot of times there are multiple options. And that's also great for everyone. It helps people look at math and possibilities in a different way. It also opens up really the ideas to, you know what, it's not always great minds think alike. Sometimes great minds don't think alike, and that is okay as well. Like I said, using that, you can use that as a strategy to engage people, to start build confidence early on, to help them take those risks that they normally wouldn't in just a simple gameplay. Or you can play it with kids or adults who need to learn maybe mathematics, or maybe adults. I've had some people who I've worked with who have had a stroke, and they're now using Get Nine to start in an easy way to start doing those calculations and reteaching themselves. So I'm interested to see, start typing it into the chat panel. All right, that's 1 minute. So let's see what you got. Type it into the chat panel and I will show you what I came up with. Possible calculation here could be 11 minus 6 is 5, plus 4 is 9. All right, we have Elizabeth who says 11 minus 4 is 7. And then we would need a plus 2, which we don't have, but you have I think you probably didn't get a chance to type it all in. Anybody else? All right, let's look at another one. And again, we're going to start the easy ones. Your goal is to end in the number nine. There it is, exactly. End in the number nine. And what you're doing is you're using the cards that you have in front of you and the dice that are faced, in this case, again, it's plus and minus. So the cards that we're using to create these calculations are the numbers 4, 8, 4, 5, 12, 7, 7, 11, and 3. And again, I'm going to put it on for a minute. Let's see if you can come up with a calculation for this pattern and see what you can come up with. And again, the goal is to get to the number nine. It's always get nine, get nine. Get nine is a magical number. I think, Raj, you probably will relate to that because in many spiritual, international belief systems, nine is very powerful. And it's also one of those reasons why I use that number. But, anyways, go
I
ahead.
agree. I agree with you.
Yes, so I learned all those things, and I mean I do on LinkedIn. Sometimes I put in all the cool things about the number nine. All right, I see
Yes.
Stephen put in 4 plus 5 is 9, of course, or 12 minus 3. Absolutely. All right. Anybody else got anything else? That's exactly what I got, Stephen. So you can see when you're starting out with this, that's an easy way. I also, one of the things how you can play this, you can play with teams. So, for example, if you were using it in a team building, I actually am doing it with the Coachella Valley Women's Business Small SBA group, and we're using it as just to get the rhythm flowing, and we're keeping them up, and so they can problem solve together. So let's see. Now we're going to make it a little harder. We're going to use multiplication and division. Those are the options. But what I ended up throwing was a division and a addition. So the numbers that you're using right now are 10, 0, 9, 12, 8, 10, and 7. All right, I'm going to set the timer again. You have a chance to see what calculations come up with, and then we'll go from there. And again, I'm looking off to the chat, and that's why my face sometimes is moving differently so I can see what's being posted in there. All right. Okay, Philip, I saw 12 minus 3. Excellent. Okay, Stephen, you have 9. All right. Times 10 divided by 10. Okay. Sometimes great minds do think alike, but other times great minds do think different. So I'm going to give everybody just a chance here. And I did come up with that as well, Stephen. So that's kind of funny. So 10 divided by 10 is 1 plus 8 equals 9. Are there other options? Maybe not on this one, right? Because we're going with the numbers that we have. All right, let's take it up a notch again. We are going to use this time division and again multiplication. It's what came up. And again, the numbers are 6, 12, 11, 7, 0, 1, 3, and 10. Go ahead. Let's see what you can come up with. Take the time. And so you can see also when you work in teams. So if you're trying to build teams and get people to work together, because the cards are always faced up when you play Get Nine. And part of that is to keep everybody totally engaged, right? Because you have an opportunity to steal. I haven't even talked about this in there, but this is the way to continuously engage all players because they have to look and see, well, what's available for this player. And if they're missing something, you could steal it. All right, I see some things coming in already. Let's say Philip. Okay, 12 divided by 6 is 2. Let's see, wait a minute. 11 times 7 is 77. 10 times 3 is 30. Okay, so we're trying to always get to the number 9. And I see where you're going with that, Philip. You have some starting points, and now you have to connect them. So again, we got just about 14 seconds left. Type those into the chat panel. Let's see. The end goal is always get 9. So after the calculation ends, it should be a 9. All right, here's the next one. So on this one, for example, I came up with 12 divided by 2, which is, 12 divided by 6 is 2, and then plus 7 equals 9. Did anybody else come with anything else? Again, there's multiple options sometimes. Yep. All right, let's try another one. Here we have multiplication and a subtraction. Again, the numbers are 7, 6, 7, 0. We got a couple of 1s, 2 12s, and 10. Again, with those, try to come up with the number 9 as the end of the calculation. Absolutely. 10 minus 1, that's 1. So, Stephen, that would be the first one, right? Now, the goal of the game is to get as many cards as you can. So, sometimes you would use one calculation, which is just like that, 10 minus 1. And then maybe there's another one with multiplication. Or you use a combination that has maybe a multiplication and a division. So, you're getting 3 cards. Or you use 2 separate ones, like, 2 separate functions. So, you have that option. So you can combine two together to make it more of a longer problem. We've got 19 seconds left. Any ideas for anybody? Let's see. Okay, look in the chat here. And the game grows with the learner. So it really is a family game that it starts with very from the long term. And then because the skill sets develop and continue to grow, because you can almost do like algebra, applications. You can call out brackets and things like that. But here is what I got. So in this one, which I haven't told you yet, and that's what that was, one of the things that also counts is that you can use numbers that add up to the number 9. So for example, 12 times 12 is 144. And the number 144, 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 4 is 9, also adds up to 9. So you didn't know that one yet, Stephen. So you got the 10 minus 1. If I would have told you that you could use also a cross sum, you would have got that one, I'm sure. All right, now let's one. I want to show you that you can also combine numbers. And that, again, is the way how this game will continue to grow. It can be 2 numbers, 3 numbers, 4 numbers, whatever you want to do. And that's going to be, again, you can do a single calculation or calculation with 2. And let's do this one. I want you to find at least 3 possible calculations. And for one of them, combine 2 cards together. All right, so here we go. And I'm going to give us at least 2 minutes for this one. So we have the numbers 4, 6, 12, 3, 10, 3, 9, 10, 11, and 0. And we have a division and we have a plus. So let's see if we can come up with 3 calculations. The person that comes up with all 3 calculations, you're going to give me your address, and I'm going to send you a Get 9 game as a winner. So let me put up here some time, because we have it, and go ahead and go. Let's do this. 3 possible calculations, and one of the calculations has to be a combination. So that means you're putting 2 cards together to create a new number. And so I love using this for warm-ups for groups, especially when I team them up. So sometimes when, and you know this, Stephen, you start getting them to warm up before you're getting them to do things that are more risky. A lot of times I kind of rotate them. So they'll have a partner for maybe 2 or 3 throws, and then we rotate them around. So to try and build that community. All right, let's see what we got coming in here. So we definitely have 10 minus 1 is a 9. Okay, that's 1. Okay, Stephen, we've got 9 times 6 is 54, and 5 plus 4 is 9. That's a cross sum. Excellent. 3 times 3 is 9. All right, let's see. We still have 58 seconds. So, and the next one, the last one, at least create a 2 numbers together. A calculation combining 2 cards to create a new number. So as you can see, this is the final play. It gets a little bit more challenging, and but you have the extra minute. So we got another 30 seconds. It's when you get to combine the cards, it really takes it to another level, right? Because you can make. I've seen people, real gamers that really, get into playing multiple sets and things like that. They really go, all right, let's see, we got 3 times 11 equals 33. Stop. All right. Okay. So, okay, we got 3 times 11, yes, equals 33. Okay, let's see. And then minus, I can't quite see it, but let me show you what I have. So here's what we got. And so the 2 card calculation that I did is I added the 3 and the 0 together to make it 30, then divided that by 10, then added the 6. And then the other ones were things like 12 divided by 4 is 3, easy ones, plus 6 is 9, and then 9 divided by 3, I think some of you had that, plus 6 is also 9. And so you can play this game, you can have fun with it, you can start with it. I know we had somebody, I think, who was it, North? If you're still on, you're playing with younger school kids. And guess what? When you're doing music, that's all numbers, that's fractions, that's numbers. You can use this as a warm up and get them to feel comfortable again using numbers. That's one of the things I think we need to do as a nation. We need to become more comfortable again with numbers because it's so important on so many different levels, whether that's with personal finance, whether that's with science and the STEMs, or whether that's even doing financials for your business. Understanding that we have to become more comfortable with that. So I thank you so much for playing with me. I'm going to stop the share right now. I'd love to hear from some of you what you think. And I guess what I want to see from some of you that are on here, Raj and Philip
Yeah.
and Stephen, could you see using Get Nine as a warm up for some kind of activity to get people to be able to take more risks and things like that?
Yeah, and I think this is fascinating because I was trying to get you and Stephen on the show together. So I think I accomplished that because Stephen and the law theory is so great. So I think
Absolutely.
the more role playing and storytelling and games that you can bring into a corporate room or a group to train, I think makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I
important.
see the benefit here with certainly with families is being able to, I grew up in a household where, we played Sorry, we played Scrabble, we played Monopoly. Board games were, an integral part of my family as well as many of my friends' families. And, with the onslaught of social media, we've gotten away from those things. And so this is a game where I can see families coming together and using their natural skills, which is their brain, to really
Yep.
configure how so that they're exercising this at an early age, and then if it's just continued throughout their developmental years, oh my goodness, what will we have? Some brilliant people, right, who are patient enough to figure out the critical things that they need to know, to figure out how to, you know, complete these multiplication problems. So I think this is a wonderful game. I'm happy to have met it, and I wish you all the best.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
and
Philip. And I love the idea that the answers are not at the back of the page in a worksheet. You know what I mean? It's using your brain.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Raj, I
and
interrupted you.
yes, thank you. Though this is very, in a number of ways, very good, Jack. I tell number one, not only the children at home, it brings the parents together. Parents can play this game with their children in order to promote the cognitive ability to think faster. It is not only just a game, you cognitively were thinking quick. You are trying to arrange which card is this. That is number one. Number two, this is also very good in church settings. Have a function, bring the kids. Every year or twice a year, the church has some functions. you know
Yes.
and in that function, one of the among all the things, have a room to bring this game so they can play with that. So that's really, really good, and many parents do that. I also like, what is interesting here is that this idea of adding, multiplying, division helps them to look at STEM program in the future. Really is. And this also defines which kid is good at it, which kid is more able to excel in math. It's really, really good. I did my master's in mathematics, so I just I did master's in mathematics, then I did MBA, etc. So I really fascinating to me. So the this one is, I'm so glad you came up with this, the idea for combining, bringing the two chords. The most important thing is mentally stimulating.
Yeah,
We need that. Whether they get the right or wrong
I
answer, but
agree.
it's a mental stimulation. It is so important. And we are lacking that in today's technology culture. texting and this and that. So the mental stimulation is not there. This is where this really, really critical. I would like to learn, Jackie, how you are going to promote this, where you are promoting,
Yeah.
what are your strategies, how are you reaching the children, things like that. It's very, really, I am
I'm
an
going
entrepreneur.
to, yeah, good points. I'm going
Yeah,
to share with all of you. Let me stop recording. Very good points. And let me just say, if you're watching, write to us and get Nine and get Stephen's book and get Raj's book and
yeah.
Philip's books. We'll make sure that they're available in the Brightside bookstore as well, so it's easy for you to find. And we are launching all these great products and things this month, so we want you to take advantage of it. All right. So thank you for watching, and let me stop recording.